Okay, hey everyone, it's Emily, and welcome to Transcending the Fears, Holding You Back from Abundance. I'm the Abundant Yogi Coach, and I'm so happy to be here with you today, sharing a framework that I've recently created for you to help this community with fear. Okay, so if you are joining this live training today because you resonate with fear, if fear is something that you feel has been holding you back from manifesting financial abundance in your life, from taking the steps that you know you need to take to become financially abundant, and maybe it's not just financial abundance, maybe it's abundance in all of its forms, success in love and relationships and life and everything. If it resonates with you that fear is something that comes up a lot, I'm glad you're here. I'm excited to dive in with you. So welcome. Transcending the Fears Holding You Back from Abundance. All right, so we're going to be moving through a 4-step framework. And the 4 things we're going to talk about today are, number 1, making space for fear. Okay, we'll talk about making space for fear. Number 2, hold fear in your arms. We'll talk about what it means to hold fear in your arms. And then we'll talk about meeting fear with curiosity. Okay, meeting fear with curiosity. We'll explore what it means to meet your fear with curiosity and not with judgment. And then we'll talk about transcending fear and what that means. What is transcending? Going beyond. What does it mean to go beyond our fears and do what we need to do anyway to become abundant? So Pema Chodron, Buddhist teacher and author, most of you are probably familiar. She's fantastic. I love her writing. I love her teachings. Pema says, fear is a natural reaction to moving closer to the truth. Fear is a natural reaction to moving closer to the truth. So I wanted to just use that as an entry point, and you can scribble that down, consider what that means to you. Fear is a natural reaction to moving closer to the truth. And I want to ask you, what is a fear that holds you back from becoming financially abundant? I'd like you to identify, you might jot down a few and then choose to focus in on one. But what is a fear? Name a fear. Name a fear that holds you back from becoming financially abundant. Something that you've noticed that has gotten in your way in your goals to build a business, make more money. What's a fear that holds you back? Okay, so we're making space for our own fears, just breathing them in and making space for each other's fear by saying, I see your fear is safe here. Awesome. And then number 2, we're going to move on into hold fear in your arms. And you can write these down if you'd like. So this is a 4-step process for working with your fear. Number 2, hold fear in your arms. So we can hold fear in our arms and soothe it like we would soothe a crying baby. This is an idea that I learned from Thich Nhat Hanh. So Tibetan, I believe the tradition is Tibetan. I hope I'm not getting that wrong. But Thich Nhat Hanh is another Buddhist author, and he has a center called Plum Village. I believe there's centers all over the world. And I've dabbled in his work a little bit. I've read his work, and I was actually reading his work the other day. And he wrote about how we can take fear into our arms and soothe it like we would soothe a crying baby. And he wrote about how just by holding the baby in her arms, she feels better, right? So the baby's crying and the mother brings the baby into her arms and embraces her. And just by holding her and not doing anything else yet, just by holding the baby automatically feels better. right? Even before feeding, even before changing the diaper, just by holding baby, she calms down. And so we can do this with fear, right? Just by holding the fear, it becomes a little calmer. So what I want to invite you to do is choose one of your fears that you've identified. Choose something to focus on. Identify a fear if you haven't yet. And I want to invite you to sit with it. Okay, and we're actually going to sit and meditate together. And wherever you are, if you are able to sit still, close your eyes, tune into your breath. If leaving your eyes open is more comfortable for you, please do that. If you're in transit, if you're walking or on the subway or driving, I understand if you need to keep your eyes open, especially if you're driving. But however you can participate with us in this exercise in whatever way makes sense for you right now. Identify a fear and sit with it. And so the mantra we can work with that's in the Thich Nhat Hanh style is breathing in, I calm my body and mind. Breathing out, I calm my fear. Breathing in, I calm my body and mind. Breathing out, I calm my fear. Breathing in, I calm my body and mind. Breathing out, I calm my fear. And breathing in, I calm my body and mind. Breathing out, I calm my fear. And then another mantra I'd like to offer is breathing in, I take this fear into my arms. And you can even visualize holding the fear like a baby in your arms. Breathing out, I soothe this fear with love. Breathing in, I take this fear into my arms. Breathing out, I soothe this fear with love. Breathing in, I take this fear into my arms. Breathing out, I soothe this fear with love. Breathing in, I take this fear into my arms. Breathing out, I soothe this fear with love. Breathing in, I take this fear into my arms. Breathing out, I soothe this fear with love. And then just give yourself some space and some breath, some quiet. And if your eyes are closed, please open them. This kind of thing is, of course, an ongoing process. I think like soothing our fears is probably a daily practice and a life's work and something that's never complete. And I think as we go on through what I'm presenting, you'll find more useful help in how to work with that fearful baby who's maybe never completely soothed, but how do we go on anyway, and how do we transcend fear and go on to create abundance anyway? So number 3, meet fear with curiosity. Let's meet our fear with curiosity. Now that we know we are safe to have our fear, we can meet fear with curiosity instead of judgment. One of my favorite quotes is from Walt Whitman, "Be curious, not judgmental." This has helped me in so many areas of my life, and I really try to implement this in everything that I do. Being curious about other people and why they are the way they are instead of judgmental of them. Being curious of myself and my own experience, and offering myself curiosity instead of judgment for why I'm doing things the way I'm doing them. And we can do the same with our fear. So it's really easy to judge our fear. It's really easy to get down on ourselves for being afraid. It's really easy to be impatient with our fear. It's really easy to get stuck in our fear. And I think what is so helpful is to always be curious. And the question is, how can we meet our fear with more curiosity? And then there's another saying I love that I hear it a lot or get thrown around, and it's all over the internet, and it's credited to so many different people. So I don't know who really said it, but it's fear is excitement without breath. I love that. Write that down. Fear is excitement without breath. And so, some people on the internet said, somebody named Robert Heller said it. Some people credit it to Fritz Perls, who is the developer of Gestalt psychotherapy, which is an interesting body of work. So fear is excitement without breath. This has really helped me to start to relate to my fear as just another form of excitement. So when I'm feeling afraid of taking an action in my life, when I'm feeling afraid of trying something new, to see that fear as actually just excitement that I need to breathe into a little bit more. So if you are feeling afraid to put yourself out there as offering private lessons, could that be that you are actually really excited to become a person who offers private lessons and gives people meaningful one-on-one work and gets paid well in return? Could it be that you're so excited by that and you're just forgetting to breathe? And so it's coming up as fear, right? Or if you are thinking about launching your first online course and you're stuck because you're afraid that you are too new as a teacher, or you're afraid of the tech. I hear that one all the time. I want to create an online course, but I'm feeling so overwhelmed by all of the different tech that I would have to learn. And I hear overwhelm a lot. And I think we should ask ourselves, is overwhelm another form of fear? When we're feeling overwhelmed, could that have something to do with fear? And these are just questions for your contemplation. So when we're feeling afraid, can we just think of it maybe as excitement and breathe into it a little bit more? And when we breathe into it, then what's possible? So meeting fear with curiosity also means asking questions like this. And please feel free to write these down. So and I want you to ask this question about the fear that you've identified that you'd like to focus on today. So I like to ask questions like, is this what I'm really afraid of? Or is there something a layer deeper than that? So looking at the fear that you're focusing on today and asking yourself, is this really the fear? Or is there something a layer deeper that's what I'm really afraid of? And I find that there's usually something deeper. With any fear, we can always keep asking ourselves, why am I afraid of that? Right? So that's another form of this question, is why am I afraid of that? And when we ask ourselves why, it's like, well, because I'm afraid of, and then the question is, why are you afraid of that?